Hi everyone, Adrian Player here. In this video we're going to be talking about commercial. So if you're a investment property client that's transitioning over to the commercial side, this video is for you. Commercial is a different beast, all right? You're taught, and Resi investment brokers are taught, to not have all their loans in one bank, all right? They go back to the 2018 Banking Royal Commission and they saw ANZ switch off the interest-only policy. So ever since then, they've been taught to not have every lender and not have every investment property in every one bank, because if one bank changes their policies, you're impacted, right? But then they don't tell you on the commercial side that the bigger you get, if you go on to property 2, 3, and 4, the more risk the bank wants to offset. They want more control. They want more GSAs. They want more caveats. They want more director guarantees. All right, so a lot of these Resi brokers are teaching you something very different to what you experience in the commercial space. The bigger that you get, the more likely you are to have the majority of your loans in the one bank. So you need to be a lot more selective if you're looking at building out a larger portfolio on which bank that you're putting your commercial loans with, where a lot of these Resi brokers just focus on rate and fees and don't understand where if you go putting a lot of your loans in second tier banks, and they take a GSA, a director guarantee, or a caveat on your business, and then you come in and you hit their lending limit, and then suddenly you want to start buying more, then you've got extra fees, because no first tier bank is going to go second tier caveat or GSA a lot of the time, and it causes problems. So then you've got all these extra fees that you thought you saved in the second tier bank. Now you're having to move everything across to the first tier bank to get the next loan. We see a hell of a lot of that. What else do we see? We see clients that go and use their Resi broker for the cash out, but then they don't explain, does the bank control the money? Which banks are we targeting on the commercial side? How does this cash out impact me on the commercial side? We don't see them talking about these kind of things. All right, what else do we see? We see clients that get bigger, right? They want to go into the private bank space, or some of these private health bankers for doctors or large business owners and things. Well, there are portfolio limit products where as long as you keep the LVR under a certain LVR and they do valuations every 12 months, then they'll give you a portfolio LVR. But again, they want more control, so they'll cross all the properties. But then they give you the ability to buy residential and commercial, and it's a lot simpler to get your applications through. So that's another example of some of these products that are available in the commercial space that Resi doesn't understand. All right, so look, the Resi volume has fallen off a cliff. In the past, brokers were understanding what they were competent at and what they're not competent at. And if a client started buying commercial or using structures or SMSF and they didn't understand it, they would tell you, and then they'd still try and help you and maintain the relationship on what they're doing. Now they're essentially saying, oh yeah, we do commercial, and then they send a couple of referrals to the main tier banks, let the lenders do all the work. They don't give you any of this advice. They don't talk about portfolio, the difference between commercial and residential. And then we wonder why a lot of clients come down the pipeline to a broker like me that has to sit there and explaining all these things, so then a client fully understands. Because bankers are great, and look, half of the banks, because of the volume that we deal with, we're premium, right? Premium is a fancy word of saying we do a lot of volume. And because of that, we get better pricing, all right? So in the Resi space, you go and do a Resi loan. A lot of the time you get a carded rate. You're treated like every other client at that LVR and type of product, whether it's investment, investment or owner-occ, principal and interest, investment, interest only, or variable or fixed, right? They'll treat you the same. It's a carded rate. In commercial, it's a risk assessment based on the deal, but the one caveat that they won't tell you is this: banks want to do a risk assessment on a deal, and then they want to make a margin on the deal. Now, if you go directly to some of these banks and you're not doing a whole lot of volume with these banks, they're going to treat you differently. They're not going to know if you're shopping them, okay, which every one of our brokers, every one of our lenders knows that we do volume, and we send out for 3, 4, or 5 quotes based on the deal, and they know that they've got to be sharp. So you got a lot of these lenders and banks, especially in the main tiers, that think that they can keep a hell of a lot more margin and make a lot more profit on a per deal basis. But when they get a deal from someone like me, they already know that they're being shopped and they have to be sharp. And because I'm doing 10 to 15 pricing requests a month, they know I know where the pricing is at, who's sharp. And the other thing is, it's not all about rate. There could be app fees, there could be valuation costs. And look, they can titrate up or down the app fees or the valuation costs or the interest rate to get you a better overall package deal. Some of these lenders will give you redraw, some of them will give you offset, some of them won't give you any of that. So you need to have an understanding on these products and how the commercial side works to have a full understanding on what you're doing. And if your Resi broker doesn't understand these things and speak about these things, then it's unfortunate. You've got to move over to a broker that has the experience and has the runs on the board. So these are the things that we're seeing. We see a lot of clients go to their Resi broker to pull the money out, and then they don't understand the impact that that's having on the commercial side. And then I have to sit down to the client and explain. And half the time I've got to go back in and fix it. The other half of the time I've got to tell the client this impacts you in this way, and that Resi broker hasn't explained that to you. So that's food for thought. All right. Hopefully these videos are giving you a lot of benefit. If you've gotten through to the end of this video, you probably know more than 9 out of 10 Resi investment brokers right now. And if you need anything or you need a message or send me an email, I'm more than happy to help.